I'm
sorry. We are live now. This is our very first show, everyone. Welcome. We call it WOSO Chat because we do not have a name. This is my lovely panel of fans, I guess. We're from all around the world right now, so we'll go through introductions first. I'm just thanking you all for seeing our first show. You know, we really appreciate it. Went through a lot of hard work. A lot of people barely making the show. You know, this almost didn't happen. You know, I'm not going to say any names. But other than that, let's get this. Let's get started. I guess I'll introduce myself first, and then we'll go over a lot of our topics because we do have a lot of stuff we can talk about. Algarve, a lot of things of what we didn't like, a lot of things what we did like for the first time in a long time, and we'll take it from there. All right. Well, as you can see, my name is Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock, but close enough. And I guess a little bit about myself. I've been a fan for a couple years now, so to speak. I got into the team really during that World Cup back in 2011, correct? And afterwards, it was funny how it happened. It was a mistake, if I say it myself. I was just sitting there and the game came on. I was just like, oh, they're pretty good. Let me watch this game. And after that, I've been watching ever since. So, been a fan, been to games and everything. And my favorite player right now, I guess, would be well, I like Pino for a long time, but she's been going through a rough patch, so I'm looking to change. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'll stick it out to the end, and we'll take it from there. So let me call on, I guess, the first panelist. Where do we want to go? Do we want to go to England, Brazil, or do we want to stay in America? Let's go with you, Tori. Let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Tori. I'm HeroFan9 on Twitter. I started following about 2012. I watched the final, in the London final, and I kind of forgot about the team until like the spring of 2013 when I Googled Alex Morgan. I know, it's cliche. And I've been a fan ever since. So, yeah.
All right, cool. All right, we're going to go across the pond. Let's go with Rue right now. No?
Across the pond. Hi, I'm Rue. You've probably blocked me on Twitter. If you have, that's fine. If you haven't, I'm sorry.
That was great.
Thank you. Guess I started following 2011 World Cup. The drama from the Brazil match and the final was pretty addictive. So I guess I've been following ever since. Favourite players. I'm a firm believer in club over country. So as you can see behind me, FC Kansas City. They are the best players and the best team. The rest of them can go fuck themselves.
All right. Well,
yeah.
That's Rue. We'll hear more from Rue pretty soon. Let's go to Brazil. Right now.
I'm Aurelio. I started following the team in the 2011 World Cup after the Brazil game. My favorite players are like Alex Morgan. I like a lot of Rapinoe, Timrock, and Okai. I like her style.
Cool. All right. Well, let's go to Krista. Let's hear Krista.
Oh God. All right, Krista. I started following Olympics 2012. Been a fan ever since. Favorite players are Heo, KO, and Harris.
Cool. And now we're gonna go down to, last but not least, for all the Alex Morgan fans out there, we got Alex Morgan's temper. Let's see.
Hi, my name's Christy. I've been following the team for a really long time. Back in 1999, when I saw the World Cup in '99 on TV, my dad actually got me into it, which was a surprising deal. He saw it on, and he goes, "These girls are actually pretty good. You might want to watch this." So sat down, and I was hooked ever since. So I obviously Alex Morgan fan. There's get the job done. Other than that. What it?
Yep, sounds good to me. All right. Well, we got a lot of topics we can go over. Thank goodness we have the Algarve Cup that happened, so we'll talk about that. Guess we'll start right now with that USA versus Norway game. We can go over rosters, I guess, so to speak, with the call-ups. There's a lot of different things that I guess we liked about that and didn't like about that, of formations. or just how the team looked in general with it. Personally, the call-ups, I think it was one of those moments with our eyes closed when we looked at it. I mean, it was chalk, as they say. I mean, it was pretty much the same names or whatnot. We almost knew who was going to be starting when they first came to the roster out there. I would have loved to see some little changes or whatnot, but I guess, you know, whatever we ask for, you know how Jill Ellis is by now. We kind of gotten a feel for her. Who would like to start talking about like what they thought with some of those call-ups? Because personally, I mean, like I said, we almost knew what it was blindfolded. We will go to, how about you, Rue? Let's go.
Me first. You sure about that?
Yeah, let's start it off big, you know.
As you say, it was very, very, very predictable, the original roster. I think it's worth noting that people like Shannon Box are still being called up. That's one thing that's been interesting me so far. And she did get a few minutes against Switzerland, and I thought she actually did brilliantly for the time she was on. It was basically her work that set up Abby Wambach's goal. I don't think she put a foot wrong while she was on the pitch. So even though she is 140 years old,
135.
she's still got it by looks of it. So I still want to see more from her. Whether she can start a game, whether she can complete a full 90, we have no idea really, do we? Because she hasn't really had much of a chance, even though she has been in the squad. That's something I'd like to see more of.
Yeah, how about this story? I got a question for you. What do you think about the Shannon Box call-ups right now still? Like, is she still getting called up? Or?
I was kind of surprised, yet kind of not. I mean, we haven't really seen her play with the national team in forever. So, yeah, but I mean, they're still giving her a chance. She still has something to prove, I guess.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like it's one of those things where at first I thought I think we were mentioning before when we were just talking amongst ourselves that maybe she was getting called up to help Lauren Holiday with the CDM type of position type of thing, or is she just gonna probably get plugged in there maybe a couple of times during the World Cup? I really don't know.
I think honestly, I'm surprised it took this long. Obviously, she was still getting back into being some sort of fit, but. One of the biggest needs on the team has been that we have all these attacking midfielders and no holding midfielders. So if she's still got it, maybe she's going to fill that gap, at least for the World Cup. She doesn't have that much more left in her, but if she can get us through the World Cup and fill that gap and that need that we have right now, maybe that's a good thing. Even if she gives us half a game, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Rulia, well, how do you feel about us still sticking with that 4-4-2?
I think there's a lot of long balls trying to find Abby at the box, and it's really annoying to us that they should create plays, passes. Everyone but should be gone already, and try to bring in new players. And I think it won't change until after the World Cup, I guess, maybe even the Olympics. Trying information would be nice.
It's for me if she ends up like staying until the Olympics, you know, I think that'd be just too much. Yeah, I'm hoping like maybe this is her last little ride or whatnot. I mean, like I said, it's weird that we're still running with that 4-4-2. We attempted the 4-3-3 for a little bit, and I guess she just scrapped that. But it's just like, you know, if we're gonna stick with this just because of her or just because we don't want to try anything else, it'd be very disappointing for the most part. Krista, I have to ask you, how do you feel about Hope actually coming back and playing right away?
About who?
But Hope?
Hope? I mean, it's a good thing she's back, you know. I think it definitely helps with the morale of the team. You know, gives them a lot more confidence out there playing. So, I mean, it's a good thing she's back. I mean, it's good that, you know, Harris got some games in and got some practice. So, I mean, I think it all kind of worked itself out. So.
All right, now we can, I guess, really discuss how the team played actually in that game against Norway. Because, I mean, the second half I fell asleep almost. It just became too much to watch. Just lump the ball forward and let's see who could run under it if someone could run under it. Most of the time the ball was just lumped forward and it was just a back and forth because Norway didn't mind doing that either. Christy, how did you feel about like the team's play overall? Who did you like? Who didn't you like?
Well, I mean, what I can truly say about the game against Norway was that the continuity was a lot better than it had in the previous two games against England and France. So I was glad to see some of that, the players playing together and maybe improving a little bit that way. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that Morgan Bryan is getting as much playing time as she is right now. I think she's going to be a fantastic player, but I just don't know if they're trying to get continuity together with the team. If she's able to hold that position, I think not that she can't do the job, but I just think they've got her trying to do the wrong job. But outside of that, I think it looks a little bit better, but long way to go before they're going to be anywhere near a quarterfinal, let alone a World Cup win, in my opinion.
All right, Rue, how did you feel about it? How did you feel about the team overall in that Norway game?
To be honest, it's slightly lesser opposition. No offense to Norway, but they have looked better than they did against France, obviously, because they got completely destroyed against France, got completely found out. To be fair to them again, Norway's goal kind of came out of nothing, so it wasn't like they were on the back foot the entire time. But at the same time, it did take a dodgy penalty for him to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like that handball was really harsh, I thought. But Carly Lloyd again stood out for me. She's probably the best player the team has at the moment. If you forget the Switzerland game though, because she was a bit below par then, but yeah, Carly Lloyd is she's invaluable really to the team. She's their best player right now, I think.
From about Carly or whatever, that game I felt like she just really took over. Like when she was roaming freely and just I felt like she was bossed at midfield for the most part. And just how they played, like it was weird to see them tucked in like that at first because I felt like we were susceptible to a counter against a good team we would be of how the backs kept coming up like that. Like I don't know, I like Krieger sitting back personally, or just playing more defensively because when she goes up, sometimes I feel like she's lost up there a little bit too far up for herself, and we're just going to be swinging crosses in every time she goes up there. But Tori, what did you like about the game? What didn't you like?
Are we still talking about Norway?
Yeah, Norway.
Carly Lloyd's goal, that was definitely a saving thing. No. Yeah. So, I don't know.
You like Carly Lloyd, I guess? No Heyo, so you can't complain, right?
And Heyo. I mean, all of them.
Earlier, what did you like about that game? What did you like, didn't like? How we played?
Oh, I didn't watch the game. I couldn't watch the game, so what I know is from the highlights, and I think it was a close game. They were a little bit better, but they need to improve. They want to win something, make impact.
And Krista, I guess we haven't asked you. How do you feel about that game? How was you? Yeah, no.
I mean, I think it should have been a big wake-up call, because, obviously, like, there was a goal there. So, yeah, I don't know. I just like consistency at this point is what I'm most worried about. I feel like there's not a whole lot of consistency from game to game. So, I mean, it has improved a little bit, but...
And chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry.
I'd like to see more chemistry still. And Chalupny, I'd like to see her go into retirement, but that's my opinion.
And we will save the Chalupny talk for a little bit later. Some notes I took down from the game, I guess I could say is I felt like, it was nice to see A-Rod out there get a few touches. I felt like her few touches she did have, when she did get the touches, were solid. Sarah Brune has been amazing. She's the best thing we got back there. Just line her up back there by herself, and maybe she'll win all, defend everything for us. And other than, like you said, Morgan out there, I felt like she was just following the game plan as much as I disliked the whole long ball thing that we're doing. I mean, it's just killing me to see that. It's becoming unwatchable at some points. Other than that game was what it was. It was nice to see a little bit of improvement. How about Switzerland? What you guys think about that? Let's go to you, Rulio, Switzerland game.
Well, I didn't see many long balls, so that's a good sign. I hope. Easy game. USA dominated, but not because they had a great game, because Switzerland is not very strong. And I think Rapina should have started on the right. She's better from there. I think I like her passing. She could have helped Morgan from there. Let me see. That's it. That was improvement a little bit from the Norway game.
Yeah,
And
that is
hopefully
very
they'll be
true.
better in the next one.
It was, like I said, it was just like lesser competition too. So I mean, if we didn't see any improvement, I think most of us would have been kind of pissed, to be honest. How about you, Ru?
Yeah, it was definitely an improvement, but as you say, lesser opposition, so it's not. You can't really learn too much from it. But I think the majority of the team did a lot better, considering Carly Lloyd wasn't at her best, and Ali Krieger's been brilliant. I don't like admitting it because she's a Spirit player, but Ali Krieger has been brilliant. A-Rod, I think she deserves another, or not necessarily a start, but at least more minutes, because we know Jill's never going to start her, even though she should, but, fuck Jill.
Yeah.
What else? A-Rod's goal was brilliant. Complete composure on the ball. Normally I hate when players do little skills, but that was just a brilliant bit of improvisation. She wouldn't have scored without it. It was genius, in my opinion.
Temper, how did you feel about Press starting up top? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I really don't know that either whether. I mean, I think she does better coming out of the midfield. I think with the way the team's laid out right now, as it sits, let's say it that way. I'm not a huge fan of hers. I don't hate her. I think she's got a lot of talent. I don't think she's used right, and I think I'd feel better about her if she was. Outside of that, I like to see it. I think what they really are looking for, or I hope they're looking for, is someone who's going to pair that up top with and have in order to get some more points on the board out of the forwards. And I think maybe A-Rod might be fit instead of Press because I don't really see that chemistry on the field between the two of them. Maybe I'm the only one that doesn't see it, but I thought she had much better chemistry with A-Rod in that game. Of course, again, we're looking at much lesser competition, Switzerland. I'd like to see that kind of continuity and stuff against the next top 5 team, and then I'll be able to give a better opinion. I think all of us will.
It's weird though, like you said with Press though, it's just like we're almost playing a guessing game where she's gonna be next. Because I mean, at one point in time, she's up top. Next, she's on the right. She might pop up on the left. Just like there's really no continuity for her, and it's just we really can't get a good feel of like probably how good she would. Like we all know what she is, but it's like maybe if she had a little bit of continuity, she could probably sit in and get a little bit better, more comfortable. Krista, how did you feel about the Switzerland game?
I mean, like everyone said, it was definitely a lot better. I feel like there was more chemistry, they were all, I don't know, meshing well, I guess. Yeah, I'm concerned about Pino with her consistency. And I don't know, same with Holiday, too. I'd like to see Pino stepping up and, doing more of the set pieces again and kind of seeing how that goes. Because that was her thing for a long time, and then, I don't know, she kind of started not doing so well at it. So maybe give her a shot again and, see if she can improve a little bit more than, what Holiday's been. Try to be a little bit more consistent. I don't know. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what Jill does. But yeah, it was definitely a lot better.
Sounds good. For some things I picked up from that game, it's like you said with set pieces with Holiday. I think it was weird because I remember when Jill really changed over to it, and I was just like maybe she just wants to give Holiday a go at it, and maybe she feels more comfortable with Holiday at it. Sometimes Holiday's amazing, but sometimes we'll be like, oh, we could ask for more. But with that game, really, Julie, I thought she had JJ play. I thought she did better that game against Switzerland. She seemed like she was a little bit more comfortable out there. I really wish that she would have had more playtime early on and got a chance to develop a bit more. Tori, how did you feel about that game?
There was a lot more consistency. I think everyone, like, as people are saying, they meshed better. Cheney's set pieces, that was good, but they're inconsistent. So, yeah.
Rulio, how'd you feel about actually Morgan Bryant out there? That's my question. Not a lot of people have been mentioning Morgan Bryant.
Who?
Morgan Bryant.
It's nice to see young players getting a chance to play. She's not been doing it great as I expected, but I think she'll improve with time. She needs more playing time.
Rue, how do you feel about the young players getting playing time right now?
Well, depends on your definition of young players, really. I think the only young player is Morgan Bryant, and to be honest, I never really notice her on the pitch. At least she's not being noticed for making mistakes, but then again, I don't think she's contributing a great deal.
It's weird with her, because like you said, it's one of those things where either you don't notice her at all, or she's just not doing enough anyway. Like, she'll just do a nice enough pass where it's just like, okay, she's there for a second. Or I noticed her like a few times yesterday because she was kind of getting in more, it seems like, and a few more tackles and stuff, but it wasn't like there's no real impact, so to speak. It's almost like she's just there at the moment. And it's weird. It's like Chrissy, do you feel like she should be starting, or you feel like they should wait to start her?
Chris just fell down. I think. I mean, I like Morgan Bryant as a future player, but again, I think we're right back to the fact that they're not playing these players in a position that benefits them the most right now. I think that they're trying to make her a defensive midfielder, and she's definitely an attacking midfielder. And I think they're trying to find that Shannon Dox type player, and I don't think Morgan Bryant's it. I think it's unfortunate for her, and I think it's discouraging for her, in my opinion. I don't obviously speak for her, but it's a similar situation that Cheney was saying she was having some struggling with at the end of Pia's days, that she felt like she wasn't being utilized the way she was most comfortable, and when Tom came on board, she felt like she kind of fell into her own. I think that's what's missing on the team as a whole, is skills and ability to put the players in a position to make them most successful and make the team most successful.
Sounds good to me. All right, well, I guess our next game we got to look forward to is lovely Iceland. And because of the Iceland game, everyone has their own opinions. This is one of the funniest things. You can go on Twitter before a game. I say always the 30 minutes or an hour before a game, you see everyone has their own idea of who should be starting. And then you want to go crazy for 30 minutes. Then the team will go out there and win, and everyone forgets about it. I find it the funniest thing to laugh at those people. I'm sorry. Well, other than that, we decided to do our own versions of who should start versus Iceland. We'll go down and let everyone show theirs. Some people might have theirs on a piece of toilet paper. I don't know how you did it. We're gonna start with Tori first. Let's see where she wrote hers, or who she decided should start.
So, I've got Tori, so I can show you the picture if you want.
Okay, we will. Thank you, Tori, for not doing anything right there. All right. Ruth, can you show us?
Maybe Rick should be in charge of that, because I'm figuring out how I'm gonna get mine out there too.
Yeah, there's Tori's.
All right, Tori. Explain your roster. Why did you choose that type of roster and formation?
Well, I mean, it's Ali and KO on the sides. They're both they get into the play, so they're attacking. So I mean, that's why wouldn't you have them? Brune and Cap in the middle, because I mean, same thing. They're solid. They both, yeah. Hope, because she's Hope, and she's, yeah. I don't know.
I think we get the concept, though. It's pretty, like you said, pretty straightforward, though, the roster. Everyone's in, the right position, something we're not used to seeing. Let's see. Yeah, it looks pretty solid, though. Like I said, for the most part, I think it'll be a good one that actually might end up out there, to be honest. Let's go for your Rulio. Who do you have for your roster? Thank you, Rue, for showing that.
I'd go with this team. Nair as a goalkeeper. She had a great year in 2014. Goalkeeper of the Year. On defense, Krieger, Sorbrun, and Ingen to help to get a strong defense. I would play Kelly on the left mid, so she could help the defense too if we needed that. Rapin on the right, the three mid, Carly Lloyd, Holiday, and Brian. And A-Rod, she needs more time. She's good, so she's doing good. She needs more time to play. And Morgan, of course,
It's pretty.
best striker at the moment.
That's pretty solid to see a 3-5-2, man. That's too
I mean,
outside. It's too outside the
it's-
box for Gio. You know, you can't throw 3-5-2s up here and expect fans to like that. But I like it. Yeah, I like it real good.
I hope this formation will help the teams to control the ball more passing, creating the chances, not just long balls and expect to win and score goals.
I like it. I really like it. Let's go to Temper. I mean, not Temper. Krista. Krista. Let's hear from her.
Oh yeah. Okay, Rue has mine as well.
Okay. Let's go to Rue.
Go on then. There's yours.
Okay, so I had an original one, and then she like told me, I was like, you know.
It was rubbish. I got you to change it.
What?
No, nothing. Carry on. Carry on.
Oh, I was gonna go with the 4-4-2 because I was feeling lazy, but then Rue told me that would be a Jill move, being lazy. So I changed it up. I have a little bit of a Christmas tree design. So, you know, obviously, well, I mean, okay, so I was thinking overall, or like for the rest of the tournament or whatever, but if it's just against Iceland, you know, I think Harris would do fine in goal. But I have hope there, just in case, yeah. A little bit more realistic. So then I've, you know, obviously, Teo and Krieger. And then Brune and Rampone, you know, Angan pending, however, you know, Rampone and her injury and whatever right now. So, and I have, Kino and Hale on the outside with, you know, Lloyd as attacking midfield role. And then, Luru and Press, Morgan up top. With, you know, Morgan is the main attacker, so, yeah.
Sounds good. I like it. Let's go with you, Christy. What is your who would you like to see against Iceland?
I wonder. I don't think. I'm not sure if I can do it or not.
Does Rue have yours?
Yeah, I can post it if you want.
she's the honorary poster at this point. I think pretty much back lines have been almost mirror images of each other that we've seen so far. I think a lot of us are on the same page with that. I went with Heo on the right and then Pino on the left because as much as I want to see Heath on the field, Heath and Pino are pretty much good at the same position. So I went realistic and not necessarily fantasy formation right now. Laid out in the way that is the most productive. So I didn't obviously go with a different formation. Not that I don't think that there is better ones out there. Leaving Carly and Cheney in the middle. I think Carly probably, or Cheney should try to be more of a defensive holding midfielder, but I don't know if she has that ability. We know that Carly doesn't. They tried that, but it didn't work. But maybe we can look at bringing Box off the bench for one of those two out. And then obviously I've got Alex up top with I figured try A-Rod up top. I think they've got nice chemistry, and I think she deserves a shot. I think A-Rod's proved herself with the NWSL and had some decent showings. I mean, A-Rod's always going to leave some stuff out there that you wish she cleaned up. I mean, it's been a problem with hers for her whole career. But when she's on, she's on. She's fast and I say put them up top and see what they can do together.
Sounds good. All right, well, I guess it's my turn, right? Oh boy, let's see. What did I think of? Does Rue have mine too? I wonder.
I do, yes.
All right, that's fine.
I'll put it up for you. Go on.
It's okay.
Rue?
I got mine. I'll throw mine out. Don't worry. It's in here somewhere.
No, I've got it for you. Sorry.
She beat you to it.
Did she? God dang it. All right.
You can't.
Oh, let's see. What am I looking at right here? This is my.
It looks like
Yes.
Wait for. Oh, did she put it up? Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So this is my formation. I went with a 4-3-3. It's one of those things where for me now I'm looking at it as it's not even formation. It's just a matter of play style or how you want the team to play. So, like I said, we all like mine is probably a fantasy formation as they might call it, but still, I want to see actually Dunn get some play time in this tournament at least once, maybe against Iceland. I didn't think about it, but Nair, like I said, hasn't played. Maybe you could throw her out there against Iceland because Hope, even though they're still trying to get Hope back in this form and stuff, give Nair some run maybe. My back line is pretty much the same, I guess, as what we've been running other than Dunn. Morgan Bryant, I'll have her sit back a little bit, but I'll have Carly and Holiday tucked in. Have Kelly up top. Yeah, I'll have Kelly up top on the wings, have her running up and down. Give him some helping out on defense, but also just running down the wings a bit and sending balls in. And then give A-Rod the credit she deserves and let her actually get a chance to play. I think that's it for all of our formations. Hopefully they run my
And
formation.
Peru.
Yeah, Drew go?
yeah, dude.
You have done yours and you haven't done mine. Come on.
I forgot. If she did everyone else's, that's all like, and thank you guys.
You don't have like your own, do you?
I've got two actually. We need to see them both.
Oh,
One-
we gotta see these. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
really interested in one particular one.
This first one. Let's find it. This is again completely unrealistic. Like some others of ours have been. Naya in goal, it echoes what Aurelio said. She has been the best goalkeeper in the NWSL week in, week out for the past year. It's ludicrous. She's not getting more playing time. I've given Box a start as well, simply because of how well she played against Switzerland. I want to see how she does starting a game, whether she can actually last more than one half. And slightly biased, but I've put Holiday in that number 10 role just to link up with A-Rod. If they can replicate what they do for FC Kansas City, it could be brilliant against any team in the world. And of course, with Box alongside Lloyd, it gives Carly the license to go forward, while Box can sit back and protect the defenders. And my second formation is, that last one was completely unrealistic. The second one is what I think Jill Ellis is going to pick
Oh goodness.
Probably.
I'm scared already.
for the rest of her career. Here we go. I don't think we need to explain that. It speaks for itself.
You'd be like the only game. You just see like everyone dropping no matter what. Well, that is.
Stylish one.
I like that formation. That was pretty good though. Everyone had nice ones. I think the Abby flop back one was the best. All right, she's watching and she hates us all. All right, let's move on to other news. All right, so guys, there's always been big discussion about who should play in what position, who doesn't deserve to play in what position. One big positional issue we've had is the whole KO and people crying for her at left back. Some people like Chalupny, some people hate her. Some people hate Kling, some people hate Kling. So we're going to give you...
B,
yeah?
we do have a question from Tumblr.
What is it?
Okay, so they said they're currently watching. They have a question, and they want to know if it's true about Kling starting because she's a favorite of one of the coaches.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yes.
About that. Whose question is it from? We'll give them a shout out.
I don't know. It's anonymous.
All right, cool. Now that's funny. I read a lot of articles about that of her being a big favorite, and I started to think about it a little bit more when I looked at like how many starts she got compared to KO and stuff. And I was like, it's one of those things where she hasn't done enough to prove that she deserved the spot. So you think they would let them kind of really battle for it, but it doesn't seem like it's a battle. It seems like Kling, you've had it, and that's that.
Well, I want to know how if Kling has played for Jill before. Does anyone know if she has?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I thought it was more so She played for what's his name? The other assistant coach of the team, not Jill. But I also heard there was a bias. Didn't she go to UNC? Correct?
We should look that up and discuss it next show about who on the coaching staff has coached with her before and could have some say in it.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll discuss it on, I guess, next show. But how do you guys feel about? We'll start with talking about her to begin with. How do you feel, Tori, about Kling starting at left back, or the battle that never really happened with Kling and KO?
She's good. She's had some solid games, but then again, she's had like some games where she sucked. So it's inconsistent, and KO's always consistent. So
So would
not
you
always,
start?
but most of the time. So I would go with her.
Who would you start?
Kelly. No doubt.
Rue? How about you? How do you feel about Kling?
In fairness to her, the past couple of games, she's actually not been that bad. She's actually been pretty good. To be fair, though, that's probably because she's either replaced Kolupny, which has made her look a lot better, and also after her performance against France, which was absolutely horrific, anything is better than that. Like Tori said, though, I think I would like to see O'Hara get another chance there. But the less O'Hara actually gets to play there, considering she plays up front with her club, I don't really know where she belongs anymore. I genuinely think she can play anywhere on the left, like anywhere on the wing, and she'd do a good job. But she's just not getting a chance. She's not getting a look in any position, and it's frustrating for fans, to be honest.
Aurelio, how do you feel about KO not playing, and do you think there's should be a change in the starting lineup?
Like Tori said, KO is the most consistent player in that position. So yeah, I think she should be playing. You should give her more playing time. She's the best left back we have, I guess. And she can play in the wings too, so should get a chance. She could help with the attack or the defense.
That's why I like her. She's you can use her in multiple positions. So Krista, this is a good question I have for you. I guess you asked it yourself. Do you think Jill Ellis personally has something against KO, or is it just like you think what we're going to look up a little bit later? Is it just a certain thing of favoritism?
I mean, yeah, there's no reason for her to not be starting. So I'm not, one of, 3 players, other than Hope and Rampone to play every single minute of the Olympics. So it really just doesn't make sense to me. I know with, Sky Blue, she had some injuries and was out, and they tried her at forward, and, so I don't really know if her play at Sky Blue had anything to do with it. I mean, I doubt it, but it's either that or it's the favoritism. So I don't feel like there's really a logical explanation at this point. But that being said, Kling has done. This is really hard for me to say, but Kling did pretty well last game. She is, improving and looking a little bit more comfortable. It just really kills me to not see KO out there. So.
Well, I mean, I always put it like this when I play. Like, you can say she's been serviceable, so you don't really have to give her credit, but you don't really have to slap her in the face for what she did. So she's been serviceable. How about that, right?
Yeah, I'm not like gonna break her legs with a rusty pipe.
All right, because we knew that you were probably going to pretty soon.
I mean, we discussed it.
Christy, how do you feel about KO not playing, or is there any other players that you think should be playing?
I mean, I think it's sort of an interesting collection that she's kind of thrown in that left back position. I mean, going back to 2011, 2012, that left back position has been a weak position, previously held by Lapelbit, who was also serviceable at that position. Fantastic 1v1, but could get beat. And so when she went out with her injury, lost her place, and she's gone now. We've all moved on. And I think when KO stepped in there, I was really happy to see a player that's a forward who can defend and with the pace that she has and be able to get pushed forward as well. I don't think she has consistent enough to play up top, but on a wing or in that left back position, I think is kind of where her home is as far as the national team goes. Klingberg, I think one issue we'll have with the national team is they forget to base the performances off of who they're playing instead of how they're playing. Switzerland should have been 5 and 6 to nothing, in my opinion. And we got through with 3 to nothing on some, well, at least a couple of those were really lucky in just marking in the box because they're a lower quality team. So giving credit where credit's due, I guess, if you're looking at that lower quality of team, sure, Klingenberg was serviceable, but I would not want to see her starting in a World Cup, I don't think, against a strong opponent that she has a cool chance in hell, but that's my opinion.
All right, yeah, well, I look at it as, like you said with you guys, like I really would like to see Kelly in that position playing, because, I mean, I just felt like she was doing such a good job when she was actually starting over there. And then it just, like, I felt like it was just snatched away from her just randomly. Maybe it was just when she was injured for a little bit, and then afterwards, it was just we just never saw her get a real chance. So hopefully, well, I know it won't happen, but hopefully, before the World Cup, Jill will come to the realization that Kelly is probably her best option over there.
How many goals have we given up from that left back position over the last several games?
It's been, well, I thought the
Norway, though. Sorry.
Yep, go ahead, Rue.
Against Norway, it did come from the left again. But in Kolupny's defence, I think this is like a problem with the formation or the players in the formation. But they overlapped Kolupny. Kolupny had no help whatsoever. No way is she going to beat 2 players by herself, let alone 1. So yeah, I think because they had that, it's not even 4-4-2, is it? They played like 4-2-2-2. It was
it's a more.
Bizarre. So in that, you'd expect someone like Brian or the supposed new defensive midfielder Lauren Holiday to help out the fullbacks, but they're not. I'm not even sure if they've been told to. So it's just not working. It makes them too vulnerable against better teams.
Well, what I've seen, like you said, with it, is where it's like they'll have those two. They're supposed to come back and help out, but it just leaves us so exposed to contact because they'll tuck in, and then they're not even coming back to help out defensively at all. So like you said, it came on that left side again. They just shot on down there, and they got a little quick goal on us. And it's just like every time when you see it happening, because she'll push up to Luckney, and then there's just nothing back. It's just like field for days. So I mean, they really need to get that figured out because a good team is just going to, well, even these average or okay teams have been exposed, and if they can't see that yet, then, what do we have to look forward to? Let's see. How about what's that? Go ahead, Krista.
Oh, I was going to say even KO, had a little bit of an issue last game. I think there's one where, she was way up and they got behind her and took off with the ball. And she was up past the half-field mark. So I think even she had a problem with running up, the flanks and stuff, not covering too well. So.
And you look at minutes, too.
Sorry?
You know what I mean? I mean, you're looking at minutes, too. Your KO's had, 5 minutes in the last 3 games, so they've got to let these busts off, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I can't imagine what that does to, somebody's confidence.
Exactly.
So, I feel like it's the mental aspect is a huge thing as far as, I don't know, quality of play, so.
Hey, Tori, so now we're going to move on about the midfields. How do you feel about Hale being now more so a bench performer than anything else?
I don't like it. We haven't seen a lot from her in forever, so that's disappointing, but people are stepping up and doing their best. So, I mean, it's competitive, and yeah.
Do you feel like she could do a better job when that's out on the wing than Prescott?
Yes. No doubt.
Yeah. Definitely. How do you guys feel about the midfield situation? A mess with the whole TDMs. How about you, Rue? How do you even feel about the whole Lauren Holiday playing back in that defensive role?
The whole thing's a mess, really. Across the midfield, you've got players playing in positions they're not the best in. And even though some of them might, I think Press is the shining example of someone who excels in somewhere that isn't a best position, and that's led to people not knowing where her best position actually is because she's been all over the place and done fairly well. But it's this weird 4-2-2-2 formation where they're supposedly having Carly Lloyd wide. that baffles me the most, because she's never been wide. They're not playing wide, neither's press, and they shouldn't be, because they're completely wasted outside. As for Holiday, I still feel like a lot of the time she's uncomfortable as a defensive midfielder, assuming that's what they're still telling her to do. They really stopped talking about it. But yeah, I think we're being deprived of. It's not even a case of whether she can cope or not as a holding midfielder. We're being deprived of her at her best, and that can. Her and linking up with some of the forwards could tear apart any team in the world. She's such a creative player, such an intelligent player, and it's just such a shame. And I think it's detrimental to the team as a whole that she's been played not in that number 10 role. And it is, again, it's a formation thing that currently it suits nobody, but especially it doesn't suit her.
All right, and one quick moment, guys. I just want to say, if you guys have any questions, you can send them on Tumblr to with the WOSO chat, the WOSO Talk. That's what we're using, right? WOSO Talk hashtag. You can use that on Tumblr, Facebook. You can just leave a comment on any of the group pages if you see the video on there, or you can send it on Twitter. Talk. Rulio, who do you think should get called up for the midfield that's been getting kind of screwed over?
I think Timrak should play in a 10 role in my team with Rapino on the right. I think Holiday and Brian as the defensive midfielders, or maybe give Johnston a chance since she's a midfield. So as a Timrak should be playing more. I don't know why she left the team.
Why do you think Tamarack got the call out? Because it doesn't make sense that she's not called up at all to me personally.
She had a great season with Kansas.
I also think she gives us like some, she's a great passer. She's amazing when she's on the ball, dribbling and stuff. And it's just like that gives us that little creativity that we need. And it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. Like that's the one thing I guess that's my beef. Where everyone else has their own little beefs about little players. It's like the player, she got called up a few times, and then afterwards she just disappeared off the picture. And then it's like I just don't get it. Like Krista, who would you like to see called up? Probably that isn't getting a call up.
Well, I mean, I know, there's been a lot of talk about Timrak and why she's not getting called up. Sorry, I was just checking to see if there was any questions.
That's fine.
But yeah, I mean, I think, Timrak would be the biggest one, so.
Yeah, I feel like she is, like, personally, I don't know, I feel like that's one of the biggest misses. Like, Faru, you're a big FCKC fan. Like, what do you think about her not getting called up either? Like, you think that's a big miss on our behalf?
It's ridiculous that she's been called up, but again, it's not surprising. Nothing's surprising anymore, which is. But Timrak, I think Timrak, she has not just last year, but both years, she's been brilliant in the NWSL. She is everything that Heath is supposed to be if you listen to Fangirls.
Oh boy, we've just really jumped there.
I find Heath inconsistent. Fair enough, she's had injuries, but she's not as effective as Timrak's been in the NWSL. Timrak's done it week in, week out. I think she'd fit in perfectly. The wider midfield, on the left side of midfield, because she can play on the wing. She can cut in and create chances for herself. She can help out other teammates. She's the sort of midfielder that they need. But instead, they're playing centre midfielders, strikers in that position, and it just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Christy, how do you feel about, I guess we can say more so, Timrak not getting caught up? Or better yet, how do you feel about Tobin? You're a Portland fan, right?
Well, I mean, I think Tobin can't have a lot of inconsistencies. I can definitely agree with that. Obviously, yeah, I'm a fan of her play. I think she's got some really nice footwork. I think when she's on her game, she's fantastic. But yeah, she does like injury prone and lacks consistency at times. Timrak is. I'm not. The only reason I wouldn't be surprised that she's not called up, or would be surprised, I don't know, is only for the fact that at that position there's so many attacking style midfielders that they have, and I just think whether she's calling the right ones up or not, I don't necessarily agree. But I think there's so many people who can play that attacking midfield. You're cramming them all in as it is right now. Center midfielders and that all of those kind of midfielders that are wanting to go to goal instead of stay home. And she's trying to transform, obviously lack of coaching in my opinion, or ability to coach, whatever it is, to train the right player defensive mid role. And I don't think Simrak could do that. I think she's far too useful pushing forward, but I agree she should have been called up, and I'm sure there's a couple I could say could maybe hold off a little while. Honestly, if I had to pick between Morgan Bryan and Simrak right now, that's my opinion.
Tori, how about this question? What do you think about A-Rod not really getting play time? Would you choose A-Rod or Abby if you had the choice to start in your World Cup team?
A-Rod.
A-Rod? Now, what's wrong with Abby? I thought we all loved her.
I mean, Abby's Abby. Her and Alex have had, like, that great chemistry, but they haven't had it in a while since they've both been, like, Alex has been injured, so I want to see A-Rod and Alex work together. I think they'll work good. So, yeah.
Rue, how about you with A-Rod up top? What do you think of Abby to begin with? Let's start on Abby. Why not? That's a big topic of discussion with everyone, huh?
Do you really want to know what I think of Abby?
I mean, we only got so much time, so
we're going to get banned from YouTube if we say what I think of Abby.
Let's stick to A-Rod then. How about A-Rod? How do you feel about her not getting playing time?
Well, we all know it's, again, not surprising, absolutely ridiculous that they just simply don't pay attention to any NWSL form for any player as well as A-Rod. But I think, considering how well she's done recently when she's come on, especially against Switzerland, I would be baffled if she doesn't get more playing time, even for journalists. Even she has to recognise that she's still got something to offer. And I think if you put her along players who, not necessarily Morgan, because I think they both do a similar thing where they can run onto through balls, unless you give Morgan certain tactics where you have like more of a poacher to play alongside A-Rod. But I think Press could do that better, to be honest. But yeah, I think as for the whole of forwards go, Abby, I'm sick of her diving. I'm being 100% serious. The diving's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. I'm sick of having to go at refs every single match. And she's supposed to be the captain. She's supposed to be leading by example, whether it's with her play or with her attitude. And quite frankly, both of them stink. So yeah, fuck Abby.
All right. Yeah, well, how I feel about that is, like, I would like to see A-Rod get more plays. Because it's weird. Like you said, the NWS form, it seems like she was so amazing. I mean, she turned it on to another level when she was playing this season in the NWSL. And it's just like it was overlooked, wasn't even paid attention to. She wasn't given any chance at all. And it's just like, if she can, like, emulate any of that, or at least give them a chance to show that if she can or can't, oh, we'd have something amazing up top with her and Alex. Really, how do you feel about A-Rod not playing too much?
Yeah, I don't think Jill Ellis watches NWSL. If she did, A-Rod would be playing. And about Abby, I think there's no space anymore in football for her kind of player, like tall and slow. She's done. A-Rod's young, she's fast, and she can score goals. She proved that last year.
What I've noticed too is when you notice how the team, I guess maybe it's just like, well, I mean, we do it anyway, but when Abby gets out there, we become real cross happy. It's just like, cross the ball in, let's hope something happens with Abby. Cross it in, let's hope something happens. And then usually she's on the ground, so nothing happens. Krista, how do you feel about A-Rod not playing too much? Or Abby playing too much?
Who are we talking about? Both?
Krista's busy right now. How about you?
Hey, what are you talking about?
How do you feel about it?
That's what we're doing here, Krista. Welcome back.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. All right, whatever.
We can go back to you. How do you feel about A-Rod playing or Abby playing? How do you feel about either or?
Is it me or is it Christy?
Wait, what? Are we on me or her? I'm so confused.
It's on you, Krista. It's your time. It's your time to shine. It's your time.
Go ahead, Krista. Get him, girl.
Okay, I mean, yeah, same thing, you know, I'm sick of diving and, you know, it's just, I don't know, over it, you know, I mean, she does boost morale, you know, and I feel, you know, the team has a lot more confidence when she's on the field, but, I mean, yeah, I think A-Rod has, you know, I think she deserves a shot, she put in the work and, you know, I think she has a lot more to show if given the chance. So.
Christy, who would be your strikers starting? Give us, well, we already know one, so give us who would you start next to Alex Morgan?
I would actually probably put A-Rod there. I agree that with what Ruth said, that they are very similar styles as far as long ball, running on the ball, things like that, but I think both players can create chances for the other forward. I think that they could be a nice little mix together. Remind me a little bit of, and I might be going back farther than some of you guys might remember, but there was a combination back in the late 90s, early 2000s of Mia Hamm and Tiffany Milbert, and they kind of remind me of that little mix right there, and they were very good at both of those positions. They worked really well together. They create something that way. I don't know. I see it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, I guess now we're going to move on to one of the more exciting topics that I think everyone wants to hear about. We're going to discuss Hope Solo. All right. Yeah. Oh boy, this is going to be rough. So, as we all know, Hope was reinstated not too long ago, and then she was right back in the starting lineup. I guess we'll start with one of our keeper lovers right here, Krista. Krista, how do you feel about Hope Solo actually being placed back in the starting lineup?
I mean, I think it's, you know, like I said earlier, I think it's, you know, it's good that she's back. It's good that, you know, Harris got some more games in, you know, in case Hope decides to keep being the bad version of herself. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a good thing she's back. I do agree, though, that, you know, I don't know. It's good.
Aurelio,
starts, though.
Aurelio, would you start? Would you want to see Nair getting more starts, or do you in this Algarve, or would you want Hope to keep starting games?
Nair, definitely. It's her time. She's in form, and Hope just got back. I'm happy she's back with the team, but she shouldn't be starting. Should be on the bench.
That's one player, though, like you said, with Nair, I feel like I wish she would have gotten more playtime, because wasn't she with them on the, well, I mean, Hope she was with France and the England thing? I thought she was going to start the England game at least, but it just seemed like she comes up and we don't see her afterwards. Rue, tell us how you really feel about Hope Solo.
Oh, how long have we got?
Another one of those players, eh?
Aside from the whole thing about her being a horrific human being, the thing is, when she was first suspended, everyone was kind of outraged about, oh God, what are we going to do now? None of the other keepers have had any practice. They've not got any minutes. This should never have happened. We're all going to die. That sort of hysteria. But now that she's back, it's only been, what, 2 matches that Harry's played? And now that Hope's back, everyone's like, oh well, Hope's back. She's the best. Carry on as normal. It's completely hypocritical, any fans that did that. I've got to agree with Aurelio that Naya should be getting more matches. She's been the best keeper week in, week out for the past year. Realistically, though, is she going to get any games? No. And that's Jill's fault again.
Christy, how do you feel about Hope Solo being plugged right back into the lineup right when she came back? I mean, I felt uncomfortable. No, well, yeah, all right.
I mean, the thing about it is obviously she's an important part of the team. She's also got a lot of off-field issues, which I think are bad for the team. But from that win now perspective as a fan. I am her being plugged back in to get her minutes and get her back on the field. I think that she could have sat Algarve out, and we would have been just fine with Harris or Nair. And I think if you wanted to really sure, I guess that would have been a good way to do it. She could have been plugged back in. As far as for the World Cup, is there another keeper I want to see starting? No, I don't. I think that she's still one of the best keepers in the world, and unfortunately, a lot of players that are on the team right now and not thinking of what's going to be in the future and about getting young people involved. Right now, we're being realistic. We've got a World Cup in 3 months, and if we're just going to settle for training new people and bringing up the young people and bringing in new talent and trying to mesh everybody together in the next 90 days. So unfortunately, we got to roll with what will work for now and hope for the best, because at this point, even with the best involved, I don't necessarily think we can get it done. But
all right, guys, we got a question from Twitter, so that means someone
Yes,
is actually,
we do.
Exactly.
yeah, that actually means someone's actually watching this. Dear Lord.
So,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for the first show. You know, we're just trying to make it. This comes from Jill Ellis. Who was a better coach, Tom or Jill? We will start with let's start with you, Krista. Who was a better coach?
I mean, I really like Tom. You know, I think that he wasn't given a fair chance to prove himself. You know, obviously the Algarve last year was not good. But, I mean, I think, you know, even to sack him that close to the World Cup, you know, wasn't a very smart move. I feel like he was doing a good job, you know, experimenting and trying to work out chemistry and, you know, get new players in and figure out who fit where. You know, and he really didn't have a chance to prove himself with the consistency in the lineup. You know, so I don't think he was given a fair shot. I don't know. I mean, compared to Jill, you know, I didn't like him at the time, but now that we have Jill, you know, I'd much rather have Tom back. So.
All right, let's go with you, Aurelio. Who was a better coach? Who did you like more? Who do you like more? Or who do you just think was better, Jill or
Tom, obviously. I think he was fired and he was doing a good job. He was starting to improve. He was fired. That didn't make sense. And I liked him because he was bringing new players to the team, the young talent we need, and he was trying to change the way we play.
That's actually that's one reason I guess I liked him a lot, because it did seem like we did get to see a lot of call-ups with him, or just, you know, a lot of new people, and it was good to see that. You know, we needed someone to freshen up the team. Maybe it was a little bit too much for their liking, but it was good because he did give a lot of people caps and stuff, and I don't know. I think it was something we actually needed. Maybe if the older players didn't care for it too much, because they felt like he was probably going to phase them out, but you know, you have
Some of them deserve to be phased out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to get phased out. You can't be there until you're like 45. Ruth, who did you like more, Tom or Jill Ellis?
It's a silly question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
First, can I just say that Jill Ellis is a brilliant Twitter account. I've looked through your tweets and they are amazing. I have followed you because that was brilliant. But yeah, Tom he clearly had the better ideas. It wasn't perfect. He introduced the world to the Mewis sisters, and nobody is thankful for that. But yeah, I think he paid more attention to the NWSL as well. The players that were in form, they were brought into camps. Players like Leanne Robinson for FC Kansas City has been probably, maybe a slightly biased view, but she's probably been one of the most, if not the most, consistent fullback for her club in the league. I think she still could play a role for the national team, going off her league form. I think she's been brilliant. So, but yes, I think Tom had the better ideas. He had the better intentions. He might not have executed them as much as people wanted, but yeah, he was definitely had the right ideas.
Yeah, it was real interesting how quick Leanne Robinson got, like, I guess, phased out of the whole national team picture. Like, I really wanted to see more of her and see her get a bit more of a chance. I mean, I felt like she was another one of those players that really didn't get an opportunity. She was here. It was actually a game me and Krista went to. She was there, and then Christy was there too. She was there for that game, and I felt like we just never heard from her again. Who did I miss? Christy?
Yeah.
Who did you like more?
I was just gonna get him.
I mean, I think that at the time, and like Chris said, at the time, it was hard to realize that, what Tom was trying to accomplish. You have to sometimes do bad before you can do better. And I think being that the U.S.'s mentality, at least with the women's national team, is win. And I think that's a problem that poor Tom kind of got shoved into that. He let the Algarve Cup be more experimental than maybe U.S. soccer and the educated fans wanted to see. But you're not always going to win every game if you're trying to work out new formations and new people and you're trying to figure out who fits where. The difference between what Tom was doing and what Jill was doing is Tom actually had a pretty good sense of where players should be and would call up players to fill the gaps of where we didn't already have the talent that we needed and the backup to that talent. Whereas Jill looks like she's just grabbing players and like a dice and just throwing them on the field and seeing where they land, which I think is part of the problem.
I feel like she just really goes before every game. She just like looks in the hat, pulls it out, and whatever hat and name she pulls out is like going to start that position. I guarantee a keeper next game. I guarantee it. Watch. Just get ready for it. Other than that, guys, I think we really hit on all of our good topics. Do we have any more questions out there? Because we appreciate that question.
Questions are good.
Questions are good. That means people watch us. And if you're watching us, what are you doing with yourself? What are you doing?
Yeah. Ask a question. Ask a question.
If not, we have a question for you. All right. As you can see, the name of the show is WOSO Talk. No one likes his name. None of us like this name at all. We just used it because we knew it could pull you in, so we got you. We tricked you good. Right now, we're going to have a contest for the name of the show. We can suggest some names right now. Aurelio has a good name. What is your suggestion for a name of the show, Aurelio?
Stars and Stripes.
Stars and
That's
Stripes?
my name.
Rue, do you have a name that you want to suggest?
Nothing that's PG rated, no.
Okay, so we can't say that unless we want to get banned from YouTube. Krista, do you have any names for the show?
What was it? Didn't I have one? What was it? The flopbacks or something?
Yeah,
like
the
that?
flopbacks. The
Yeah.
flopbacks. Oh,
Yeah.
Christy, do you have any names for the show? Suggestions? Consent?
No, I was pretty boring with my WOSO talk show, so I'm open for ideas.
Okay, so any names you have, use that Twitter, I guess use that hashtag WOSO Talk Show, or you can tweet us, as you can see my name down there, tweet it. You can send it to either of the accounts. Whoever does it right, we're going to just send you something. We might send you a mug with a mug on it. We might send
Bruce, you can find the mug picture right now. I saw you looking.
pull that mug. We need to show them what they might win. You might even get a scarf. We'll send you something nice. Like I said, a scarf would be nice. Or the mug. I don't know. It depends. We'll talk to you once you win, and we'll see what you get. We're talking about free stuff. Oh, there it is. Mug. Oh, my goodness.
You would love to sip your tea from that mug. or your morning coffee. Wake up with one back.
Oh, the play.
Good name. Wake up with one back.
Play on word.
It's brutal. So, guys, like I said, or whatever on Tumblr or whatnot, give us some names. We're guessing we'll probably do another show after the Algarve, probably a week afterwards or so, like right in between, after Algarve or right before that friendly. If you enjoyed watching, we need comments on YouTube. Give us comments on Twitter. Tell us your favorite thing we talked about, but we need ideas about other things to talk about. Even if you want to be on the show, give us some, say, hey, I want to be on there because I'm smarter than all of you, so I want to give my comments. Or if you didn't like that Rue girl, you can tell her that too, since she's been blocked by everyone anyway.
You'd have to unblock me before you tell me that.
Yeah, if you're watching, go on Twitter and block her right now.
Unblock her and then tell her how you felt about her. Or unblock her.
Harris fans, come on.
Or you can be on the show and finally debate her. We're not going to have the Harris discussion yet. You guys can argue next show, That'll great.
Yeah, we got to keep it cool first show.
Other than that, send us your ideas and stuff, and we'll talk about it. This is a fan show. We're going to pull more fans and different people on here. These are just some of the main people you might see a lot of the times. I guess we're going to wrap it up, so if you guys want to say your last words so we can call it a day. Rue, you have anything to say? That is PG.
Jill Ellis is not very good.
Well, Aurelio, tell the truth, because she just told the truth, huh?
Yeah, she's right. Jill Ellis sucks.
Krista, anything in the show?
I mean, yeah, I was really just like Jill. So.
Well, Christy, anything in the show on a positive note? We're gonna just end on a dark note right here. Yeah?
Okay. My Twitter handle is @AlexMorgsTemper. Just kidding. Well, it is actually, but yeah. Hashtag Fire Ellis. Really.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, should I show the picture or should we? We're gonna use that picture another time. We're actually gonna turn pictures of her. We're gonna use that for the World Cup and stuff. But I'm your host, Dwayne. You can call me DJ if you're really feeling that way. And I guess that's it. We will see you guys next time. That's our first show. Thank you for watching and have a good time, Fire Jill. Have a good one.